think absolutely, and even I think most individuals these days, if they understand the industry, they'll pick up a business card and they'll have a look at the qualification and they'll see, CFP, bachelor, dip. No, I'm going to the CFP or the person who has got the higher education standard. Obviously, even in the minds of the consumer, it means more education. There must be a higher level of technical understanding, communication skills, ethics and standards.
I agree. I think whatever the profession, one of the things that inspires confidence is the rigour and the quality of the training the person's got to be there. So if you're going to talk about lifting confidence, in financial advisors as a profession, lifting of education will certainly do that.
I think one of the things we haven't really touched on, we've been speaking in the main in the context of financial advisors, and that's really in the context of personal advice. And CP212 looks to also raise the standards in the area of general advice. And I think that's a real positive. I think there's some elements where I'm concerned they've gone a bit too far in the area of general advice, but in principle, if we talk about wanting more Australians to have access to financial advice, and at the end of the day there's such a pool in the superannuation space and we want more of those Australians to receive advice, general advice is the area in the main a lot of them will come through to, and so we do need to ensure that the standards of advice they're receiving through that general advice segment is appropriate for what their needs are. Now that doesn't mean they need to look like a personal advice planner, but we do need to see a raising of the standards there, and so we are seeing some of that coming through in CP212.
I think education is important, but also what you'll find is that we've got to be careful not to create too many barriers to entry to the industry for experienced, mature people. So for example, there are many financial planners who are ex-teachers, ex-coppers. These are generally ethical people who have very good relationship skills. And you'll find that whatever survey you do, obviously education is up there, but how the planner relates to the client often determines if the client will actually select that person to be their planner or not. Okay, I think we've all seen various things. We just know that ourselves work in the industry. So I think higher standards is important, but if you've got, for example, a teacher who's already got a bachelor's degree, or you might have a policeman or policewoman who they've got to have a bachelor's degree, obviously non-related, but they'll have a bachelor's degree now, is that how do we encourage those people to transition from their careers, and some of them in their sort of 40s or thereabouts decide, let's do financial planning, to transition those people into the financial planning industry. They've got the ethics, they've got a bachelor degree in another area, but we actually need to have a mechanism to actually allow those people to transfer into the industry relatively efficiently so that they can do it. Because otherwise, if we say you've got to do 3 years worth of whatever, they can't go without an income for 3 years. So there has to be some sort of transition mechanism in place for those because they're the type that we actually want to encourage. We want to encourage those people with life skills in their 30s or 40s more likely, who've come from those other professions such as teaching, policing and even nurses.